for the Pistons. Cade drives it, jams it!
It was good for us. It's always great to have the city come out like that. The locker room, we all upset with ourselves, the fact we didn't get this win. But would love to have, our fans continue to come out like that, continue to support us like that.
Two years ago, the Detroit Pistons were the laughingstock of the NBA. Today, they might just have a superstar. They might have a top 5 defense, and they might be a real threat in the East. So how did a team that won 17 games suddenly look like a future powerhouse? Well, the Cade Cunningham takeover has officially begun. Before we talk about the 2025-26 season, we need to go back. Not far, just about 2 years.
Even with him scoring only 12 and fouling out of the game.
Because the truth is, Cade Cunningham didn't suddenly become this good. The team finally caught up to him. In 2023 and 2024, Cade was carrying a roster that had no spacing, no real system, no veteran leadership, and zero identity. Detroit didn't know who they were. And then everything changed the moment the Pistons decided to build around Cade instead of having random players on the roster. Cade Cunningham's biggest leap wasn't athletic, it wasn't physical, it was mental. He stopped trying to play hero ball, he started mastering pace, he slowed the game down to his speed. Cade went from a good young player to a you can't speed him up kind of star. The type that picks apart defenses like Luka, manipulates coverages like Harden, and reads the floor like a veteran point guard. And then there's shooting. Cade's jumper used to be a question mark, now it's one of the biggest reasons Detroit wins games. He developed a high release mid-range, a step back 3 he never had before, and he's punishing teams for going under on screens. This version of Cade, a 6'6" playmaker with a real jumper, that's a start. But the Pistons becoming contenders, that didn't happen until the roster evolved around him. The Pistons didn't magically improve, they stopped making the same mistakes. They stopped chasing potential and started chasing players who actually fit the system. Spacing, defense, IQ, and reliability. They built a roster that complements Cade instead of creating chaos around him. One of the biggest changes, Detroit finally added shooters. The Pistons went from one of the worst spacing teams in the league to a team with multiple 38 to 40% three-point shooters. When Cade finally had room to operate, everything changed. His drives became easier, his kickouts became deadlier, his mid-range became automatic. But even with Cade's leap, shooting improvements, and offensive balance, the Pistons' biggest change was defense. Detroit finally committed to length, physicality, and discipline. 2 years ago, they couldn't guard anyone. This year, they're holding teams to one shot, contesting everything, and controlling the pace. But maybe the most underrated part of this is that Cade Cunningham became a real leader. He went from promising young star to the adult in the room. He calls out coverages, he sets the tone, he calms the team down. He's the guy they trust in every situation. That's when you know you're becoming a superstar. And here's the thing, Cade isn't just putting up numbers, he's closing games. The pull-up jumper, the pacing drives, the skip passes to shooters, the perfectly timed pocket pass, everything he struggled with 2 years ago, he mastered. But here's where things get really interesting. The Eastern Conference isn't the same anymore. A bunch of teams got older, some teams lost their key pieces, and Detroit somehow got younger and better at the same time. For the first time in over a decade, the Pistons aren't rebuilding, they're climbing. So, are the Detroit Pistons actually contenders right now? It depends on what you mean. Are they a championship favorite? Not yet. But can they steal a series? Absolutely. Can they punch above their weight class? Definitely. Can they be this year's surprise team that nobody saw coming? Without a question. And it all circles back to one thing. Is Cade Cunningham becoming the next NBA superstar? Let's put it this way. Superstars do 3 things. They lift their team, they make everyone around them better, and they win games that they shouldn't. Cade is already doing all 3, and he's only getting better. The Detroit Pistons didn't skip steps. They suffered, they rebuild, and now they rise. Cade Cunningham isn't next, he's already here. And if the Pistons keep ascending like this could be the beginning of something special.